All right. So that's what our focus is today, calculus-based questions and 2D. And as we had done in previous case also, it is something like it's not a teaching kind of session, revision session. And it's like you can keep doing along with me. So most of you can try and solve all the question as we go along. Okay, so you need to spend minimum time for revision. Okay. So when we come to calculus, if entire kinematics, what is kinematics? Kinematics is essentially a relationship between motion parameters. So how is velocity changing like this? What is acceleration? Or if acceleration like this, how velocity will change? What is displacement? So it is what are the parameters we are involved in kinematics? You have position, you have velocity, and we have acceleration. So these are things, and with time, these are things which are varying. So if one thing is known with time, we can find other parameters. So depending on the relationship, we find other parameters. That's what kinematics is. In case of uniformly and entire kinematics, we can broadly divide into two parts. One part we can call, which falls under category of uniformly accelerated motion, and motion under gravity close to Earth's surface also comes into the same category. And here we can use three standard equations for uniformly accelerated motion. And then there are some cases where acceleration may not be uniform. Not uniform means it may change with position, it may change with time. So non-uniformly accelerated motion, these three equations are not valid. In that case, we need to use, if it keeps changing, then we use calculus. Okay, so broadly, that's the two parts here. And when we talk about calculus, the equations are, see, in terms of formula, there's nothing new to add here. It is on basic relationship. So when we use calculus, calculus essentially involves either differentiation or integration. And whether we need to integrate or differentiate depends on the nature of question, and most cases is quite easy to identify. So that's pretty simple. So in terms of no extra inputs necessary to solve questions based on calculus in kinematics. So let's get started. Some of the simple questions, and all questions again, as questions will come on the screen, and I'll give you time for all of you to think through and solve on your own. So every question I'll pause for a minute or so that you have time to solve on your own. So read the question and try and solve. Okay, I hope all of you read the question. Question is fairly simple. Here, how the position varies with time is given. So x is given as a function of time. X is given as a function of time. And suppose we need to find average velocity at time t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 10 seconds. Okay. See, do we need to do any calculus to find average velocity between t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 10 seconds? Can we find this average velocity, Shreya? Can you find the average velocity here? How would you find average velocity between t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 10 seconds? What is average velocity, Shreya? Maybe not there. Okay, Jaideep, how would you calculate average velocity?
Average velocity is given by total displacement by total times.
Time. So how would you calculate it here? How do you find total displacement here? Correct. Basically, what I need total displacement. So I need displacement position at x is equal to 10 seconds, and I need position at x is equal to 0 second divided by time interval. That's what average velocity is, displacement. So all I need to do here, nothing need to be done. You find position at 10 seconds, you find position at 0 seconds, divided by 10 seconds, that's my average velocity. But if I have to calculate average speed, it becomes a little tricky. The average velocity is very direct. But if I had to calculate average speed, how would I calculate average speed? So Vignesh, can you calculate what is the average speed here and how would you calculate? So this is pretty simple. I hope all of you follow. Average speed.
Yes, sir. So for average speed, first we find like at the initial point and the final point, the position is same, sir, at t is equal to 0 and 10 seconds.
Very good. So first thing what we know is we substitute here, what we find average velocity during 0 second and 10 second is 0 because position is same. It's at the same position where it was at time t is equal to 0, 10 second also the same position. Okay. So,
yes, sir. So we find the minimum or the maximum of the function.
Okay. So mathematically what you can do, so average speed, basically it means what has happened. This is one dimensional motion. It means it must have changed its direction.
Yes.
Okay, so one you can find mathematically. What is the other way you can think of solving in terms of more understanding in terms of physics? What has happened here? So to understand this motion, what is happening, we can also, what you can differentiate to find out velocity. If I differentiate, if I get a velocity, it gives me better sense how it is moving. And if I differentiate again, I get acceleration. That gives me a better sense of nature of motion without solving just by mathematics. So let's do that. I hope it is clear. So when x is given, velocity, if I differentiate velocity, we get acceleration. And also this relationship, so it is clear. We need to integrate or differentiate is pretty clear. If we differentiate once, we'll get velocity. If we differentiate twice, we get acceleration. And once we have velocity and acceleration, we have a better sense of what is happening. So what is velocity? Velocity comes equal to 2t minus 10. So it gives an idea about how the velocity is, initially velocity is negative, which decreases in magnitude. It becomes 0 at t is equal to 5 seconds, and it becomes positive afterwards. So initially what happens, initially it is moving in the negative direction at 5 seconds below, and then start moving in the positive direction. Because compared to this equation gives me better idea. Okay. So particle is initially moving in the negative direction, slows down, comes to a momentary rest. At what time it comes to momentary rest? When velocity becomes 0, t is equal to 5 seconds, comes to momentary rest, and reverses direction and again start moving towards x direction. So if I have to visualize this motion is something like this. At t is equal to 0, where is it? At t is equal to 0, it is x is equal to 10. So this is x, this is at x is equal to 10, this is where it is. But initially it moves something like this. I don't know which point it reverses direction. That's the nature of motion, and t second it is come back here. Now look at this. Is this motion, is it uniformly accelerated or non-uniformly accelerated? How do you find out uniformly accelerated? We can find out acceleration also. So again, if we differentiate, we find acceleration is 2. It means this motion is uniformly accelerated motion. And at this point here, what is the velocity here? At this point, velocity is 10. No need to write plus minus because you indicated sign. And acceleration is something like this. So this is how the velocity is, and this is how the acceleration is. And this kind of motion we understand very well. So what has happened here? How much distance it will move? At t is equal to 5 seconds, it will move a distance equal to u square by 2a. And at total time it will take. So if we the particle, so when is the particle speeding up? So this is where t is equal to 0, it is here. T is equal to 5 seconds, it is here. And t is equal to 10 seconds, it is here. So what is the time interval when the particle is speeding up? Can we tell the particle? Yes, the particle speeds up when velocity and acceleration are in the same direction. After 5 seconds, velocity also becomes positive. Acceleration is always positive. So after 5 seconds, it will start speeding up. Okay, so this fairly simple question as a direct question, and so it helps you understand basic idea. Okay, move on to next question. And if I need to plot a VT graph for this question, what the VT graph would look like, I'm also on a VT graph here. Let's understand in terms of VT graph also. In VT graph, given the sign convention here, initial velocity is minus 10. So the graph at time t0 would have started at minus 10. And slope is positive, slope is equal to 2. The slope, which is acceleration, slope is equal to acceleration is equal to 2. Hence, it will cross at t is equal to this is 5 seconds and it's 10 seconds. So we get an idea. So if it is, this is here at 10 seconds. So if I have to calculate what is the average speed of the particle between 0 to 10 seconds, the 0 to 10 second, it will be total displacement will be this area plus this area divided by 10. Gayatri, can you calculate this one now, all parts?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next one. This is fairly simple question. I think most of the questions are simple because there's simple integration and differentiation. A particle start moving along x-axis with acceleration a. This is how the acceleration, this is constant here. And this is how the acceleration is. So what is the velocity of the particle when the acceleration becomes 0? We can easily solve. All of you can just easily solve that one. I'll give you a minute. What is the velocity of the particle when acceleration is 0? So when acceleration is given, but see, most cases we need to figure out, do I integrate or do I differentiate? Some question people ask, how do I know whether to integrate or differentiate? See, when acceleration is given, this derivative or differentiation of acceleration is meaningless. So we can only integrate. What is given? Acceleration is given as a function of time. What else is given here? Particle starts moving. What is the, whenever this word comes, what is the meaning of this word? It means velocity is 0 at t is equal to 0. It can only be integrated because it is a function of time. It can only be integrated with reference to t. So fairly simple. So what we need to integrate, only importance is now which limit, what is the limit we use? Okay. So this a is given. A is nothing but dv by dt. So if I look at dv on this side, dt is taken other side. So this is how the integration is. And we need to find velocity is known at t is equal to 0. Velocity is 0. At time is equal to t when the acceleration becomes 0. Thus velocity what we need to find here. So v here corresponds to velocity at time t is equal to capital T when the acceleration becomes 0. So when I integrate, we can easily find an answer. So they are fairly straightforward questions. I hope all of find very easy. Next question. So all of you just solve this question and raise your hand. So I'll wait till they're finding some difficulties. Akul, let's look at that. So you are okay with integration differentiation, Akul?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So what is given if acceleration is 5 meters per second square? So what does this mean? This is the initial value of acceleration, which decreases linearly with time to 0 in 6 seconds. What does it mean? Relationship between acceleration and time is given. Can you convert this in form of equation, Akul? It decreases. So what is the rate of decrease here? Initial value is 5. So if I have to, Akul, if I have to plot acceleration with reference to time, can you plot this acceleration with how is acceleration varying with time? If this is acceleration and this is time. Can you visualize it now? What the shape of how would acceleration vary? What is the initial value of acceleration here?
5.
5. And by what value of time it becomes 0?
6.
6 seconds. And it is decreasing linearly. So this is the shape. Any difficulty in this?
No.
So now it's a relationship between, rather than yx, you have at. What is the equation? Equation will be that of a straight line, y is equal to mx plus c. So can you write an equation? What is the slope here, Akul, in this case? Delta y by delta x. So
minus 5 by 6.
Minus 5 by 6. And y intercept is 5. I can write an equation between a and t. So this wordings, what is given here, can be converted into a mathematical relationship. And once we convert mathematical relationship, then we can proceed further. Once we have AT relationship, if I integrate, I'll get a relationship between V and T. And if I integrate again, I'll get a relationship between X and T. All clear steps?
Okay.
Is it? So we can clear. So now let's solve that. Find the maximum speed. To find maximum speed, I need to find expression for velocity. And to find displacement, I can either find x, or once we have velocity, we can find displacement. So whenever information is given in form of words, you should know how to convert. So that was the only point in the question. This is the equation between moment I read this question. Acceleration is given as a function of time. And this is equal to y is equal to mx plus c form. M is equal to minus 5 by 6t plus 5. So this is acceleration. What else is given in the question here? Whenever I integrate, limits are important here. So what is important? What is given here? Particle starts from rest, which means velocity is 0 at time t is equal to 0 and start at x is equal to 0. It means its position x is 0 at time t is equal to 0. This indicates time. So velocity at time 0 is equal to 0, x is equal to 0, at time is equal to 0. Now we can integrate and solve this question. Clearly it involves integration. When I integrate, I get with appropriate limits, we get velocity as this function. Once we have velocity, we can find, how would you find maximum speed? How do you find maximum speed? What is the condition for maximum speed? Akul, can you tell me what is the condition for maximum speed? When would speed be maximum? How would you find, what is the condition? How would I find maximum speed? Anything maximum, minimum, how do you find? It is speed is varying with time. So what value of time will the speed be maximum? dv by dt has to be 0. which means acceleration has to be 0. So at what time speed will be maximum? When I equate acceleration to 0, which is dv by dt. Any quantity varying with time. So it will become maximum when its derivative with reference to time is 0. Okay. And if you want to understand also, if vt is like this, if this is v and this is t, it is varying like this. When is velocity become maximum? This is the point velocity has become maximum. And what is important about this point? The slope is equal to 0. So we can find it will become 0 when equate a is equal to acceleration is equal to 0, which is t is equal to 6 seconds. And we can find the speed is maximum when a is equal to 0, that is time t is equal to 6 seconds. We can find v6, which is 15. And if similarly we can find integrating again, we get x term. Again, integration, the limits also. So we can use this information here that x is equal to 0, time t is equal to 0. We can integrate again, we can find x. So, Khyati?
Yes, sir.
Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Or sir, any part which is missing? All parts are clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next question I'll ask you. You should be able to answer, Khyati, then. Okay.
Sir.
Okay. Yeah, this is the next question for Khyati now. But others also can look at it, no problem. So this is a little different. Displacement, a particle is moving along x-axis with an acceleration a is equal to 2x. Okay, just for Khyati, this you know, the question has become simpler. The values equation is already given. X is equal to 0. Find its velocity when it reaches position of x is equal to 3 meters. How do you solve it, Khyati?
Sir, first we'll find the equation between the acceleration and the position.
Which is already given. So this is something. So acceleration is varying with position. So if I know something like this, what we understand from this information here. So if this is x-axis, at different points, it will have different value of acceleration. At origin, it has 0 acceleration. A is varying as 2x. And it starts from rest at x is equal to 1 meter. Where does it start from? It starts from this acceleration is starting not from origin. This point is starting from x is equal to 1. It starts from x velocity reaches. And since it is reaching position of 3, it is when it starts from x is equal to 1. Khyati, can it move in both sides or will it move only on one side? Will it move towards left or will it move towards right? It's starting from x is equal to 1. Which direction will this particle move? Can we tell based on the information given? When any particle is starting from rest, which direction it will move? It will move in the direction of acceleration here. At x is equal to 1, acceleration will be equal to 2, positive. Hence, it has to move towards right. Okay, it will move towards right. So what we need to find here is start from rest to x equal to 1. Find velocity when reaches x is equal to 3. So this is the point here, velocity is 0. If I draw a figure here, and what we need to find when it reaches x is equal to 3, we need to find what the velocity is. This is u is equal to 0. So how do I find velocity here? I must integrate. So this requires integration, but how would I integrate? This is equation between is given a function of x, a is equal to 2x. What else is given? B at time t is equal to 0 is 0. And at time t is equal to 0, x position is 1. This is initial position given. Ideally, we need to find the velocity at x is equal to 3. I need an equation between velocity and x. I need an equation between velocity and x. So how would I find equation between velocity and x here? Equation given between acceleration and x. So what I do here, acceleration can be written in two forms. What are two forms acceleration can be written at? It can be written as dv by dt. It can also be written as v into dv by dx. So since here it is given as a function of x, we'll not use this. We'll use in place of a, we'll substitute v into dv by dx. Now it becomes an equation between two variables, which can easily be integrated. We'll use a is equal to v into dv by dx, which is equal to 2x. So when it takes dx to this side, it can be integrated. I can integrate like this. What is this? Is v dv, integrate from 0 to v, and x also, since we have to find velocity at 3 meters, I'll integrate 0 from 3. There's an error here. What is the error here?
Limits of x are
Limits of x are not correct. No? So basically, when we write velocity is 0, it is not 0 at x is equal to 0. It is 0 at x is equal to 1. So we have to be careful. Sometimes what we do, moment we look at the question, oh, 0, 0, we substitute. See, when we do substitution, so what does this value indicate? This value, so if x is equal to 0, we need to put the corresponding value of b. But x is equal to 0, velocity is not known. The limit has to be 1, 2, 3. So that's the only error we need to. That's the right expression here. And integrate, we find an answer. Okay. Khyati,
Yes, sir.
now this can easily be integrated.
Yes, sir.
So is this clear? And
Yes, sir,
make
it's
sure
clear.
all these questions you practice properly. See that these are simple basic question, and this question all of you put an effort can easily solve. Okay, next question. So who's going to help me solve this question now? Shweta? Shweta, no response.
Yes, sir.
Can you help me solve this question, Shweta? Just read the question and tell me how are we going to solve this question. Does the idea come to your mind or not so clear? And all of you try. So some of you may get an answer by then. Shweta, if we read this equation, what does this dx by dt is equal to c mean, where c is a constant? How do you interpret, this is something, how do you interpret in terms of physics kinematics parameters? What do you understand from this expression? Dx by dt is equal to c. What does this indicate?
The displacement.
Dx is which term here is displacement here? Then displacement is when we write x2 minus x1 or delta x or delta y. Delta x is displacement along x-axis. Delta y is displacement on y-axis. This is not displacement. This is derivative. Rate of change of x with time. What is that called? You need to really work hard. Kartikeya,
Yes, sir.
can you tell me what does this indicate?
Velocity along x direction.
Velocity along, so this is Vx, ds is nothing but Vx. So Vx is equal to c. So how do we interpret this meaning? What is the meaning of this word here? Velocity in x direction is not changing. Acceleration, x component of acceleration is 0. Similarly, Vy also is constant. So if at all, so what we understood from here, yes, it has velocity in x direction, which is constant. Velocity in y direction also is a constant. Hence, if at all there's an acceleration, this acceleration here will have only which component? It will only have z component. X component and y component will be 0. And how would I find that acceleration? First, I find dz by dt, and I have to differentiate it twice. So what I need to do? d2z by dt square. So that's how we have to do. We have to differentiate, since that is given. We have to understand this part of the information, which I hope is easy to understand. Then we differentiate it twice, we get our answer. The rest all is fairly simple. I think most of you can easily obtain an answer. Lakshita, sir?
Yes, sir.
Easy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's easy.
Good. Most of you are practice this one, you'll find it pretty easy. So clearly it need to be differentiated twice to arrive at acceleration. As Vx, and not only each question, try to understand each question very, very thoroughly. That's why I'm focusing on limited number of questions. Make sure each question may have something different. Make sure everything is understood as well you can possibly understand. So Vx and y are constant, acceleration will only have z component. And if I differentiate once, this is a term I get here. And after getting this term here, in place of this, I substitute c. And this in this way also we substitute c. And again differentiate, and we get our answer. That's a fairly simple one. Okay, next question. And this question also, compared to rest of the question, this is slightly different. And I'll give you a couple of minutes. All of you try and solve, and this is to miss some. Okay, is that clear? All of you think on your mind what I mentioned. Just can you explain now what have you followed?
Yes, sir. First, we have to understand that it's a motion in 2D plane, right? So because they
Yes. So first thing what I notice, moment, yes, first point. I'll keep repeating what you're saying now and see that you have done all practice. Moment, first thing you notice, x and it is having both x and y coordinates are changing. It means it is having motion, 2D motion. And
yes,
2D motion, if you have to find the distance traversed, I must know its path.
trajectory. Yes, sir.
So that's the first point.
Yes.
We need to find the path it follows, which is called trajectory or nature of motion. So whenever it is given like this, how do you find trajectory? What is the method of finding?
We have to eliminate the parameter here. And
We have to eliminate the parameter.
Yes, sir.
So one is sine term, other is cos term. So using sine squared theta plus cos squared theta is equal to 1, we can form an equation between x and y.
Right. Yes.
So when we eliminate this parameter, we get an equation. Moment I get equation, now I understand it is having a motion in a circular path. And when it's circular path, the distance traversed can be calculated. So it is moving in a circle. So second thing, we need to understand what kind of, if it is moving in a circle, is this motion uniform or non-uniform? See, this x is changing periodically, y also changing periodically, and x is changing with the frequency of 3. I hope all of you understand here. The frequency is 3 here. Time period is 2 pi. So frequency is 3 here. So it means it is completing 3 circular motion in a second. So in 3 seconds, it will complete 9 circular motion. So hence, distance traversed will be 9 times the circumference. Is clear?
Yeah.
Going in a circular radius 4 meters with frequency of 3. And that's the kind of path it is having. And if you have to identify where is the particle at t is equal to 0 second, can you identify, Tejas, in this circle, where is the particle at t is equal to 0?
Yes, sir.
Where is the particle?
Only, sir. It will be at the origin, right?
It is at the origin.
Yes, yes.
And if it is origin, so this is something we understand. And if you have to understand basically, and is it moving towards left or it is moving towards right? So is it having clockwise rotation or will it have anti-clockwise rotation? Can we also figure that out?
It will have anti-clockwise, right, sir?
It will have anti-clockwise.
Yes, sir.
Why? Because as this one, then the x becomes positive. with time.
Positive. Yes, sir.
So this is this kind of motion it is having. Okay, so this was a little different from normal. So this is something I hope all of you followed. Bhageshwari,
Yes, sir.
are you clear all parts?
Yes, sir. Clear with
No,
me.
so this question, and this is true for any question which involve 2D motion. Whenever 2D motion, if we have to calculate displacement, then we are not concerned with what is happening in between. Suppose the question, if I change the question, what is the displacement? The question becomes much, much simpler. The moment I say displacement, all I need to know what is the x coordinate at time t is equal to 0, what is the x coordinate at t is equal to 3 seconds, and similarly y coordinate. But if I had to calculate distance traversed, I must know the path. I need to know the trajectory. And whenever it is given trajectory, will come in 2-dimensional motion of projectile also. We find trajectory by eliminating parameter t. If it is a circle, we know it's going to move in a circle. When we draw the circle, it's a periodic function. We find its frequency, so we know how many rotations it will complete, and we can find an answer. Jaideep?
Yes, sir.
So not only this question. Have you understood what is the approach? That's why I'm saying not question alone. We have to understand what are other parts also in similar question, how we can solve.
Yes, sir.
Any problem anywhere?
No, sir. Understood.
All understood? Good. Okay. So we'll move on to next one. This is what is given here. Next question. Distance traveled. Moment comes across distance traveled. Now again, I expect all of you to solve this question slowly on your own and give me the answer. So this, I know, how long does it take to come to momentary rest? To come to momentary rest, I need to find velocity. So here, the question is very simple. Y is given. I will differentiate once. Velocity is relevant in this problem, hence involves differentiation. So pretty clear. And differentiating with reference to time, I think this minus sign is not there. This is not minus because I think this some error has come while typing. So okay. So this comes like this. This is differentiation time. This is the velocity. So one time it becomes 0 is easy. And time it comes to momentary rest, of course, it becomes at 3 seconds, it comes to momentary rest. Yes, Shravani, you have any question?
No, sir, I got answer.
You got answer, very good. So this velocity, if I differentiate again, we get acceleration. So either I could have solved, once I get acceleration is constant, I can use my standard equations also to solve this question, which makes it very easy to solve. Now coming to your question of time being negative. Time being negative, it means had the motion been continuing, see, we have started measuring the motion at time t is equal to 0. We started observation at time t is equal to 0, but maybe similar motion was continuing even before that time. If that is given, even negative time also has a meaning. Negative time implies 5 second, mark is minus 5 second imply, minus 5 second imply where the particle was, if the similar motion was continuing, where the particle was 5 seconds before I started my observation. So if there is information or there's something which tells you whatever motion I observed, similar nature of motion was continuing even before that also, negative signs may be meaningful. Have you understood, Vignesh, your question? What does negative imply?
Sir, so it's like the clock started ticking 5 seconds after the event occurred, right?
Yes, you may start, you may press the stopwatch later. So it can happen. So some question I'm saying not ruling out negative time doesn't exist. I'm saying there's a possibility in some question, if the question is framed a way, even negative times also may have a meaning. Have some of you understood what the meaning of it? It may not, normally it may not come, but I'm not saying it is impossible. Because what does negative time imply here? Negative time implies it is before the time you pressed your stopwatch. So it's something like this. If I fire a projectile up with the speed of say 40 meters per second, and somebody wakes up late. He wakes up here at this point here. Somebody observes that t is equal to 0 here. But even this equation, whatever motion is observing from t is equal to 0 onwards, and from t is equal to 0 onwards, there's an acceleration downwards. But nature of motion after t is equal to 0 and before t is equal to 0 also was same. So I could have even here, whatever equation I write, it is also valid for time stretching up to minus 4 seconds. So if I calculate something s position at -2, yes, at -2 second s position will give you yes where the particle was 2 seconds before I started my observation when it reached the top point. Is this a clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm just saying normally this kind of questions very unlikely it may come, but if it comes also, yes, sometimes they're just to trouble, there's some to test the students' understanding. If they ask something, yes, it can be done like that. Okay. Okay, now question comes here again comes distance traveled in first seconds of motion. So one way of calculating the distance traveled in first 6 seconds of motion, what we understand here in if I
Sir, you are on mute, sir.
Muted, sir.
Sir, you are on mute.
I have made myself mute, sorry. Then how did you speak? I'm okay. So maybe some brown button got pressed. Okay, coming back to the question here. Okay, I'll hide this control button. Okay. How do you find distance traveled? And whenever we know this question was simpler, but I'm just understanding what is distance traveled if the direction of motion changes. Distance traveled is equal to, if the direction of motion changes at 3 seconds, is equal to sum of magnitude of displacement from 0 to 3 and 3 to 6. So I could have found the displacement since y coordinates are given. If I know the particle comes to momentary rest at 3, is position at 3 seconds minus position at 0 second. This gives you magnitude of displacement between 0 to 3. And similarly, write y6 minus 3. This gives you magnitude of displacement between 3 to 6 seconds. So that's a way, that's another approach we can use in some question where acceleration is not constant. Bhagishri, have you understood this point?
Yes, sir.
So this is something, so whenever this I can use when I know at what value of time it has come to momentary rest. So this is an expression which is more this something even the questions which are not uniformly accelerated motion question also we can solve. Lakshita, have you followed this?
So you can you just repeat this last point?
Last point, so basically what is happening, we have to calculate distance traveled between say 0 second to 6 second. 0 second to 6 seconds. But
Yes.
what we know at time t is equal to 3 seconds, it comes to a momentary rest. It comes to momentary rest and reverses its direction. Its motion may be something like this. If motion is going like this, it is 0 here. T is equal to 3 seconds, it comes to momentary rest and reverses its direction. So what is distance traveled? Distance traveled is equal to displacement from 0 to 3 seconds plus the magnitude of displacement from 3 seconds to 6 seconds. It makes sense?
Yes, yes.
So what is this expression I have written here? Is this not displacement from 0 to 3 when the equation is given in terms of y and t? What does y3 indicates? Position at 3 seconds. This is position at 0 second. So this will indicate displacement between
0 to 3, huh? First
so this is more general way of writing the distance traveled. And
Okay.
if I have to write in terms of something like this also, in terms of integration form, I could have written v dt 0 to 3 mod of this plus integration of v dt 3 to 6. That's the distance traveled.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm doing more general way. Okay. Next one, a particle moves along with this velocity. And this question involves calculation of average speed. How do we calculate average speed? We have done average term earlier also in some few cases. How do you arrive at average speed? So again, I give a couple of minutes for all of you to work it out. Part here, when you find average speed, one way of a constant speed results in same displacement. What does average speed mean? Average speed conceptually, it means what is the constant speed I should maintain between time 0 and t so that it has produces same displacement as a varying speed. That's the concept of constant speed. That's the concept of constant speed. So if I have to understand in terms of, you want to have better understanding what is happening here. Since when we talk about displacement, is area under VT curve. So to understand this one, if this is VT graph, this is how velocity is varying with time. And if this is time t here, this area under this curve indicates displacement in time t. And you notice the V is varying. So conceptually, what is my average speed during time 0 to t? During t, this is my average speed. If I maintain this constant speed from 0 to t, it should produce same displacement. So how do I equate? So area under this curve should be equal to area under the constant speed curve. Does it make sense here? I have used the basic concept, the constant speed. So what is average speed means? Speed, if maintained, a constant speed which is maintained for the time interval must result in same displacement. Then only is a average speed. So displacement is area under the curve. So what is the area under this curve? Average speed into time interval. And what is the area under varying curve here? This is equal to V into dt, 0 to capital T. And this gives you definition of average. This definition we have used earlier also. So what is average value? Whenever you take an average value for any time interval, that average value is something like this. For any general term, I'm again referring that term here. Average, this is average value. And you can hear from, you can understand also why this average is like this. That's a general expression for average for any function. In this case, that's the expression here. Is this understood? This is second method we discussed in case of current also. So that's another way you can look at this. So we can calculate two ways. We can calculate as a function of time. And second, this is another way we can calculate average. Okay. Vikram?
Yes, sir.
Have you understood this explanation?
Yes, sir. Both ways understood, sir.
Both ways are clear? Okay, excellent. And this makes common sense also. Why I gave this explanation, because this is something you can actually relate intuitively, also you can relate to why we get this expression as an average. Okay, I hope all are clear. Okay, so this average term here. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll stop here. Next onwards, remaining questions on two-dimension motion, which I will do in the next session, which is an afternoon session. So I will stop here. And if anyone has any doubt on what we